What's going on, everyone? It's Josh Elbow. In the video today, I want to talk about why I think college is probably one of the best perpetrated scams ever. I'm going to go over a couple of reasons why I feel that way. It's all opinion based. My opinion on the things, on the facts, I guess. And let's pretend I know nothing, as always. I went to college for 2 years. I triple majored, accounting, finance, business management. Enjoyed the experience, by all means. Did not have it paid for by my parents. That's where a little bit of my perspective comes from. If your parents are paying for your college and you have no expenses in college, by all means, I'm all for it. You get a free 4-year, 8-year, whatever vacation. But where I think it gets very, and then in that case still, even if you do that, I'd go maybe a couple years, but use it as vacation. Like, it's really, realistically, it's a vacation time. You could cut down if they dropped the bullshit classes for like gen eds and things that didn't actually show you how to do, whether it was going to be your career or something to make you money. Because generally, my assumption is the people that are going to college are going there to get a job so that they can provide for their family, so they can make income. So at the end of the day, it's about making money. Yes, you have to get the skill set because the value produces the income, but at the end of the day, it's about the money. But they're teaching you things and they're forced, you have to take classes to get your degree, because the college is worthless without the degree if you can't go to the company. Let's say if you're looking for a job and tell them that you have this degree, you could go for 3 years and finish 99%, but if you don't have that piece of paper, it's worthless, which sounds like bullshit, sounds like a scam, personally. Plus, now if you look at the, there's like Google, Apple, the 13 of these big companies came out like last August saying that they don't even need a degree. You don't need a degree to be hired by them, which shows that the value isn't there anymore. 20, 30 years ago, maybe the value was there. Maybe even 20 to 50 years ago, you had to have a degree to get a job, but the world's changing, in my opinion. But if your parents aren't paying for it, this is where it gets cloudy, let's say. So you're telling me that you need this degree, you need this piece of paper, which is all it is, because you can get the same education online. I watch Harvard Business School classes on YouTube. I watch Stanford classes on YouTube. You can get the identical education. And you can even reach out to these professors if you're resourceful enough and ask them specific questions. And if you do enough diligent work, then 99% of the time you can get a response. So maybe not 100%, but if you hustle a little bit, you get the exact same level of education. Plus, by doing it, taking your time out of your own day, it's no longer passive learning. You're not sitting there like half asleep trying to learn. You're like actively learning. So you probably even get your better education from the self-education standpoint, and you can go to higher quality schools online, whether it's a YouTube video or whatever. But the cloudy part that I want to get into is, so you're telling me you have to get this piece of paper. It has to take 4 years, no matter what. You can get it in last year. You can take summer classes and stuff, but it's like a 4-year period, which you're out of the job market. So even if you're making 25 grand a year, and presumably, let's say, while you're in school, you make 10 grand a year, 25 grand a year, you've already have the potential to have accumulated 100K by not going to school. Even if you're only saving 50% of that, you'd still have 50 grand saved up, which put in any type of investment. Even if you have cash, like 50 grand saved up, if you look at the saving rates in the United States, most people, if they had $1,000 expense come up out of nowhere, they couldn't afford it, which is scary as shit. It just shows like the money problem in the U.S. Like, the part that scares me about college is there's not a true equilibrium for the supply and demand market for it, because it's subsidized. You can get money for college anytime, and it's backed by the government, but you can't default on the loan. So until that loan's paid off, you're paying the government has an income stream for you on that interest, even if it's 4%, for forever. No matter what, you can't default on it forever. So you're starting off your career, you're starting off your life when you are supposed to be like saving and investing more so, in my opinion, in cash flow of going out instead of coming in, because you're paying that interest in the monthly whatever payment to the government, and you can't default on it, so you can't cancel it. You wouldn't go and take out $20, $40, $100,000 in credit card debt and go spend it on stuff, even when you could default on that. I'm not saying you should by any means, and I don't think you should get credit card debt either. I don't think you should have any bad debts. I think you should have, maybe if anything, like debt for real estate or debt when you can cash flow on top of the expenditure. But when the government's backing the financing on it and you can't default on it, they're creating an income stream for them for forever. You start off behind in debt, And the supply and demand market, because because it's subsidized by the government and it's guaranteed backed, you can always get money for it. The prices of college is going through the roof. That's why it's so expensive compared to what it was 20, 30 years ago, because you can get guaranteed money for it. You couldn't get a guaranteed money for going and spending 20 to 50,000 to go buy like Gucci or like Louis Vuitton or luxury items or a sick car, maybe for asset-based lending on some things. You could, but the college degree is an asset. It's literally like the government itself is setting you up for failure by putting you into debt that you can't default on, and they're setting themselves up for an income for life. Which is, and yeah, there's tax write-offs and stuff that come with it, but that's like buying a bigger house to get a bigger tax write-off. You pay more to pay, like to get, that makes no sense if you look at the math on it. And then aside from that, most of these jobs you don't even need a degree for. Like if you look at the new companies that are all out there, I think it breeds passivity, if that's even a word. It makes you be passive. It makes you be super beta, which I'm not a fan of. That's why I think it's a scam. So I'd recommend against it. Unless your parents are paying for your college, by all means, go take the 8-year vacation. Good on you. Like, if your parents are doing that, by all means, bet. But aside from that, I don't see. Like, I wish more people that I was close to didn't take out any money for student loans, because I think it's setting themselves up for failure, let alone if we even get into the fact that the job markets that was there before for all these college degree jobs isn't there anymore. I think it's creating a facade. And then at the same time, let's say for people that are 20 to 25 that are moved out, but they're just subsidizing their housing with student loans, or the same thing, their parents are paying for their housing, but they live on campus or they live in an apartment or a house or whatever, so they think they're more ahead than they actually. People like, I don't want you living in a facaded life thinking you're somewhere that you're not, because you'll backtrack eventually, and it'll either cause like you'll be upset emotionally about it, or you'll stay on that path for too long, and then you'll look around in 5 years and again you'll be upset because you aren't where you actually thought you were. It's all facaded, so I don't want that for you guys. That's my take.